I thought I'll do a video on a temperature. I've seen a lot of questions on the Facebook group where people are wondering how to make a timeout function for the temperatures, and also if you have, for instance, Zigbee, which on occasion may drop out, or maybe you have also 433 stuff that might not be 100% in the battery operated 43. So then I have a system that can, if because I control all my heating, and I've done a system now that when if I get the dropout and I don't notice the message, for instance, if it's at nighttime, and I mean it might be minus 25 outside, so then you want the heat to go. Then I start a routine where when I shut down the thermostat, and then I run on and off in a cycle, a time cycle, half hour on, half hour off, or something like that. And then you will at least get some kind of temperature, because I know about the cycle time for the heating. So, and also this you might do a function if you would like for depending on the, but it's quite constant because my system will put out hotter water when it's colder outside, so the time is about the same anyway. So so what I have is I have for instance, here in the office I have this Zigbee Sonoff temperature and humidity sensors. I have a virtual thermostat, which is this thermo, Z-Wave, this Nexa AN179 or something. And then I have some thermoelectric the heat or actuators on the radiators. Also a window contact. If its door is open, then I will lower the set temperature and so on. So, and the thermostat, the thermostat, you can use that, or actually you can use the I show here instead, because actually that's the virtual thermostat in the Homey. This is the thermo, for some reason. So anyway, so there's a number of settings for these. This has changed after some update. Normally I have the newest. I don't know why it's manual. It doesn't seem to matter. So anyway, temperature settings and validate you don't have to bother about. And then you set temperature sensors in the same zone. If you have a temperature sensor, which is a temperature sensor, and if you buy a temperature sensor, a bespoke one, or that is one, Homey will know it's a temperature sensor. Other times, if you have a virtual stuff, or then you can force, what's it called, device type in Homey to be a temperature sensor. Then Homey knows it. So when there's a temperature sensor in the same zone, automatically the temperature will be updated to this app, this virtual thermostat. And then also heaters, and I have that also checked on. And so now my AN179 is a heater, the Z-Wave, so it will automatically be controlled by this thermostat. So you don't have to do anything. Just add heater in the same zone, temperature sensor in the same zone, and it works. Then you can here set what temperatures you can set and so on, if you want to limit for mistakes and so on and so on. And then you have the target temperature step, how detailed you want the scale to be. And then you have the hysteresis, which is the plus minus. I have 0.2 plus minus, so it will start. zero point 0.2 below and stop 0.2 above. And then you can have on-off enabled. And so, as I told you, when I had this system where the temperature sensor is down, I need to turn off the thermostat so it stops controlling. Of course, you could also force update temperature lower and higher than the set, but well, everything has consequences. So anyway, I need to have this turn. All the settings set for these have changed when they did some update of the app for a while ago. This app was a bit messy half a year ago when it started to drop out and behaved badly after working perfectly for 2 years. So I don't know. Now it seems to work again. And also, this is just the same as all others. Energy use in rest and energy in activity. And I usually set this 0 to 1, and then I get an indication in the insights if the device is on or off. That's quite handy. And my on-offs, well, there's not much to say about those. It's just what I do is you set the timing here. This is not the way I usually have it. I usually set if you set 65535 here, then it will not report at all. And so I normally I set this. I had to redo some of them, and then this changed. That's the most hassle when they drop out, is you have to change this and remember what you had the last time. So anyway, humidity I don't bother so much, but you can save a lot of battery if you have. I have 1/10 of a degree as a report threshold, because this is 0.01 degrees if you like, but then that's not necessary, and because the batteries will run out much faster. This battery doesn't seem to work in this with this, and here you can set precision. So I set so that it only reports on the change, not the time, because the thing is it will change sooner or later. When you add, you don't have to rename. This is the standard name, temperature, humidity for these types. All of them are named, and then what I do is, because then if they drop out, I don't have to rename them. So I just put them in the correct room. What I do here is I have this when cards, and if there is a value for moisture or temperature, and the name contains temp, because all of them are named temperature. So if the name contains temp, and also I exclude the plant house because I don't want that. So, and then if name contains temp, I will set the variable, self-defined variable, I call temp zone, to the zone, that is the tag from here, which is, so this one will say temp, and this will say typically 8 living room or something, vardagsrum, and then this is the value. So what I do then is, and this you don't have to do the way I do it, because I will show you later on. But so what I do then is I go down to I have a Homey script, and so then I go through this this list here. If I run this, and then you can see that, because now the last reported one is still in here, so it's called Leia's room. It's my daughter's room, which actually is not, because she moved to Stockholm. But anyway, So here is the time. So this is minutes. I have a variable that I continuously update, which is minutes. No, hours. This is the absolute hour of JavaScript since 1970. So this so here you see this is the list which I have saved with the times report hours for all of the sensors, and then this is the rooms. So what I do here in the script is just I go through the list of names, and when temp zone is the same, I will update. This output here is will be this new indoor sensor report time, which will be just a list of numbers which are matched. Room 1, room 2, room 3, but called other stuff. Kitchen is the first one, and so on and so on. Kitchen, bathroom, office, and so on. So that's just a save. It's just that's just the times where it's saved. And then what I do here, I will come back to that, is the actual temperature. And then I have a sorting thing here, which is when the zone contains kök, uh, I transfer the temperature to a self-defined variable. So, and then I update the temperature. I don't have to do this actually. So if a sensor drops out, I will still have the data left, because when the sensor drops out, Insights will lose the data. And also, everywhere where this temperature is used in Homey is then independent of if the sensor drops out or not. So the only action I need to do if a sensor drops out is just put it in back in this same zone, and everything works. So nothing stops. I don't have to change a single flow card anywhere. So I use kind of an alias. And this also because I had when the vthermo app did not work, it didn't seem to update and stuff. Then I just updated the temperature in the app. I don't need to do that. It's a workaround. For a while it was just a mess. It stopped updating. I don't know why. So this is really, as far as I know, unnecessary now. But now it's summer, so then you don't notice if it, because it's always warmer than the. So I leave it in there. So anyway, it's a cake on the cake. So what I do then is just this report times list I had above. If I run this again, see if I have the, yeah. Then I will check the times against a limit, which is 4 hours. And if I have one of them drops out, I will not get an okay on this routine, this flow. So, and if it's summer, or if it's not, depending on which type of sensors it is, and so on and so on. So if it contains error, then it is cold outside, and so on and so on. I've decided that if it's the half day running average temperature is more than 7, I won't bother toggling the radiators. But if it's cold outside, it will start this a routine, another flow. I will show you that. So if you don't want to use the scripts, so what you need to do here is, you could do is just for each each sensor, if you name, if you set the variable to last report time kitchen, and then every time kitchen reports, you save the time. I showed you times and stuff. If you can have any counter, just set up a counter like just when you should do this. All of you should do one of these. So just when um, 1 hour, and then just I will show you this now, and just do one of these. Any just name 1 to hour, and then just do this. Timer. Time test +1. So just do this every hour, and then you can use this as a and you can have one for minute if you like, um, second, but that's kind of a I know this is kind of slow. And this will just add and add and add and add, and then if you don't bother what the absolute time is, you don't have to match it as I did with the absolute. But then it's because if you don't know the scripting and stuff, you won't anyway be able to deduce the correct time. So, because the times when you use time in Homey, there's like the time is 15:44, but then you have the problems when there's a new day. Okay, so we have to add day, and then they have the last of the month, and then okay, if it's the last of the month, you have to add. So it just gets a mess. So just do a counter, and every hour count up, and every minute count up. If you, I use also have a minute because I don't have a second because there's nothing on the second level that needs this type of stuff. But you're good. When you have a report, when you set the value, you also set the time for the last value, and then you just do one of this. Just start every how often you want, maybe every 3 hours, and then you do an and. So if we call the now, say that we have I'll just use something. You can calculate here with text also. It's possible. So if you have then some time, you have test time. We say that this time 0 is the counter, and then you just do one of these. If time 0, if the counter minus when you last reported is more than, I don't know, 2 hours, then just until, and then what you want to do is just, I don't know what you want to do. Send a telegram or a push or whatever you want to do, or do something. That's fairly easy. Then you don't have to do the script. That's kind of straightforward. Just when you do the formulas, you need this uh, curly brackets, double curly brackets on both sides. Going back to the what I do then, if I have dropout, I'll call this flow um, on a certain interval. I'll start this flow page, activate this flow, and then I will do a start of this flow with. Okay, I have to show you that. I will start temp control redundancy med result here. A result is the text string from this one, and that will contain the names of all of the sensor that is off. I will here receive a message with all the names of the zones that are faulty, and then just do a contains kitchen, turn off the thermostat, um, and I will toggle on and off. Don't have to toggle on and off on this in time interval which is sent, and then when it's okay again, I will. If it's warmer outside, then certain degrees I will turn off. Um, so that's also a bit double now because I mean, these things never kind of stop. You always kind of improve and so. And then for every room, I have a separate flow, and I calculate the upper and lower temperature the whole time because I use that in other ways. If the target now is 19 and a half, and now it's summer, so I just put it down to not. So I calculate this upper and lower limits because I use that, and then have a summer setting to avoid running the radiators unnecessarily in the summer. Because I do some heating in the bathroom floor because it gets very cold. And then I have the door open thingy. I also do a virtual or an alias for the doors and windows. So if they drop out, I don't have to change any of the flow cards. I just transfer the data. So anyway, um, so here I have if the door is open, I lower the temperature in this room, and so on and so on. I set the lower set temp when the window is open, and also I have my son in particular used to forget to close the window, and even in the winter evenings when his computer has heated up the room, so it could get pretty cold. Well, so I had some counter that could give a message, but well, he woke up when it was 8 degrees in the room in the winter, so and closed the window, so it kind of self-regulates. Yeah, one detail I remember now is here in this section where I receive moisture and temperature. I use moisture also because if moisture reports for the same device, the device is obviously okay. But it's a little bit over the top. But I had some shorter interval times for a while, um, and then actually temperature could be quite stable under certain circumstances, but not a longer time. So, but anyway, this is a more general thing because now I use um, two trigger cards here, and they have separate tags. The tags are the same, but they're different. So, and the flow can only run, as I hope you know by now, with information from one tag at a time. It's one instance of the flow is ran upon a trigger. So what I do here in this script is I use temp zone, which is this one, but that is actually zone. So what I do here is I have this twice. So if this is the trigger, I set temp zone to this zone, and if this the temperature is the trigger, I use set temperature to this zone. And also, if you would do the same um, for your non-scripted version and also want to use the humidity as a report time, then you would also have to do the same. So this is kind of a trick when you have several triggers going into a flow uh, that uses the same tag, but when it's actually two different tags. So, and also of course value here is humidity, and value here is temp. But so but then when we go down to this uh, actual setting the the temperature, then this humidity stuff, here it is. Only when there's from this one it will go through. If there's a zone, if there's only the humidity, it will stop here. So that's why this is the actual tag zone. Could be also temp zone, doesn't matter, but I use the zone. That's a kind of a tip or something to consider when you have the thermostats. For instance, for kitchen, and you go in here, and then you can start moving this around wherever you want. So this is very easy that it kind of goes south. Someone changes it, and especially my daughter is a fan of changing this stuff. So she changes, and then she moves away, goes back home, and then there's some other strange value. And so what I have then is, because if you want to temporarily move it, I have this set temp change, just device, virtual device. So if I turn this on, and then I change one of these thermostats, the value for them. I have a flow called temp set. So if the target temperature is changed and this virtual device is on, and then I have, so if the kitchen temperature is changed and this is on, you see both of these are conditions here. I change the value, the base value for kitchen temperature to the one that is set right now in the dial. And then I get a message that it's changed. And then after 2 minutes, I've activated this temp set change. It will turn off the one, so it's not on. So then you prevent accidental changing of the base value. So you have to be aware, do something aware to change the base value for the room. I don't store the some original standard value, but you have to do something extra to change the value. Because what happens then is, if you change the value to a new one without this set temp on, then the next time someone opens a door or something happens, or it will jump back again to the stored kitchen set temp, for instance. So sooner or later something will happen, and it will be updated, and then it will go back. So it's but then you could do a timer also, or 5 days or whatever, if you are. Because I have had instances where the temperature was set up to like 25 degrees, and then heat was just on, and no one was there. So that's another tip. So okay.